Hi, my name is Emma Goddard and you will find me at coastalcrafter.com. This is just a quick video to show you how this card has come together. So the paper on the background is from the Sweet Talk papers. It's this piece here. There's lots of other designs with the kind of love heart style papers and the lollipops and more lollipops and reds and pinks and purples and more purples on the backgrounds. They're really lovely. This is the design that I have picked out for the card because I wanted that sort of really rich red. And I'm going to cut this to 9.5 centimetres, which is that way, and then this way round. I'm just going to check my measurements. 14 centimetres. So I'm going to make a few of these because then we can make a few at once. So I'm going to cut all of these up. 9.5 and by 14. So I'd say if you're working in letter size cardstock, then I would suggest you will want your card, what's my smaller size? Bear with me, 4 by 5.25. It gives you a slightly larger border on your card. So if you're working in letter size, it's not a direct translation of the centimetres to inches, but letter size you'll want 5.25 by 4. So I can put those scraps to one side. Then we are going to take the largest circle from our layering circle dies and we're going to cut the centre. Now I'll be able to cut a couple of these DSPs, designer paper, in one go, which I shall do. So I'll just run that through. So there we have our layers cut, so we can keep these for another project. And we've got these ready to go. So because we're going to be tying a bow around this side, I just want to strengthen this edge up. So I'm going to cut some pieces of thick basic white. About a centimetre, 1 centimetre wide will do the job, and you just need that covering that section there. So you could layer a whole piece of white if you wanted to, but this will be just enough, because when we tie our ribbon around, if we don't, it will just, the paper might crumple, so this will just give it some strength down that side. So at this point we can then tie our ribbon round. So I'm using the faux linen real red ribbon. It's lovely to tie. It's got a really nice feel to it. I'll pop that on there. And give that a nice bow. Pull that about a bit. Now. That's one. That is all 4 done. Now we can stamp out our cute little robots. So this is going to be stamped in Memento, and it is the nuts and bolt stamp set. So it's this one here. We've got 4, can't count, 3 little robots and the hearts, and it's got Happy Birthday to You, HB to You, I'm nuts and bolts about you. Greetings, kind human, and I love this one. You make my heart go beep. So sweet. So that is the one that we are using. I'm going to do 4 of these. And I want to also do 4 hearts. I only need the heart, so I'm not worried if they fit on the page. So I've got those. And we're going to colour them in real red and smoky slate blends. So we'll start with the red. And we can do our hearts. I will just colour that heart. I'm not worried about any shading on these ones because it's going to be covered. But just so if you see underneath, then it's in red. You'll see when we layer this up. Okay, so go around the edge, and then we'll just shade that out. This is the light real red blend. And then we can get grey. So this is smoky slate. And you can just decide where your shading is going to go. I'm not too worried. That, and then along there. Then we'll just put a little touch on his boots or his legs. And then we can shade that all out. So that is going to be just with the light smoky slate. And if you want some more shading in certain areas, you can always go back in afterwards. I've just gone one colour on this, just the smoky slate, not to detract from the pop of red. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. There we go, so now they're coloured in, we are going to chop them out in a moment. I'm just going to stamp some sentiments, so just on some scrap white. So I'm going to use the same sentiment that I had on the example, which is you make my heart go beep. So we need 4 of those for our 4 cards. So let's get chopping. We can pop them to one side and we will cut the robots out first. And then then we'll cut all the individual hearts out to go on top. They're going to layer with a dimensional. You don't want to go too close on the antenna there because you'll make it too thin and a bit wobbly, I imagine, if it cuts too close to that. So I've left a reasonable amount of white around the edge, which not only makes it more stable, it makes it easier for cutting. So, around his little boots. I'm in the boots, his feet. Okay, one, and so we're then going to cut out all the little hearts. So these we just want as individual hearts. And rather than lose them, we can pop that straight on with a mini dimensional. Depending how high up you want it, you could pop two, you could go double. I'm going to pop it up once. There we go. And then we're just going to chop out our sentiments. So these are all kind of different sizes in words and things like that. So I'm not looking to make them really straight. I'm just going to cut along with the words. So that one. And then get beep. So we've got each sentiment for sentiment for each card. Okay, so we've got all our sentiments, we've got all our robots, and we've got all our fronts. So we just need the card bases now. So I'm going to use thick white. I'm going to score at 10.5 and then cut that in half to give us 2 card bases. So I cut that at 14.8 and just take a slither off. We are now ready to assemble all of the cards. So I'm going to grab my dimensionals. The other thing that would be great for this is the adhesive sheets. So if you've got some of those, you want to make sure you've got enough of these to hold your front up. And peel those off. And then we're going to layer that onto our card front. And we've got a slightly wider border, which is good. There. This little chappy is going to go in here, just in the centre. And then we can pop our sentiments on. So you can either glue them or pop them with mini dimensionals because you've got the bow height that you're kind of able to come up to. So you make so it sort of sits in the circle. My heart go beep. And that one will pop up. Might pop a couple on that one. Just a bit more. Okay. And then to finish it off, we are going to add some of our basic rhinestones. Just for a little bit of sparkle. There you go, that's one done. Let's carry on making up the rest. Okay, so now we have our 4 cards and the one that we had earlier. Can you see on here that this has got some glossy shine? So we're just going to add that on and then we'll leave these to dry. So this is the shimmery crystal effects. Now you want to make sure your projects are laying flat and they stay that way while your crystal effects dry. Otherwise this could drip down and not dry flat and glossy. You want a reasonable amount of this so that it dries kind of hard. You don't want to be too sparing because then it will look sort of scratchy. You want to put enough on to make it look lovely and glossy. And it will look a bit frosted, I suppose, to start with, but it dries nice and clear. So we've got our Valentine's cards ready to go, using that fabulous paper. I hope you've enjoyed that project. Do leave me a comment if you've enjoyed that, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more project ideas. I will see you again soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.